Hi Pint folk, welcome back to the channel. We would normally have shot a video over the weekend, but it was Mother's Day and just generally a busy weekend. So the clocks have now gone forward. It's a lovely spring evening. So it's a Monday, so we're all going to, it's all go in the Pinter household this evening. What we want to do is, it was thanks to sort of Stuart in Asset Solution to start off with, that we got hold of an ice spindle. And if you want to buy a fully calibrated one, there's a discount code down below in the description. Gets you 5% off a fully calibrated one, so thanks to Stuart for that. And hopefully they've been selling like hotcakes because they are a great thing. We'll do a little separate review on the ice spindle and how to use it and all that good stuff in a different video. But that sort of got us thinking, and I certainly noticed, and we noticed that the brews were stalling. The graph was going nicely, the yeast were doing their bit. But 2 days in, roughly, 2 days, 3 days, depending on what you were brewing, they seemed to stall and we were getting unbrewed, unpleasant. House of Hops was really not great. We had to bottle it. Turned out fine when it was bottled. But we think it might be to do with too much pressure and the PRV not being terribly exact and just building up too much, and the yeast just don't like it. So, firstly, I want to thank Phil Stapleton he's on the Facebook, one of the Facebook pages with Pinter, and I saw what he's done. So what we did was we started off and we put a used hopper bottle in the top of a Pinter just to hold it there, drilled a small hole, made it bigger, and we purchased a pressure gauge. Now, according to research, I'm not an expert, but according to research online, during brewing, you should be between 10 and 15 psi, and then for when you want it to get it carbonated, that should be upwards of maybe around 30. Okay, so that has agreed with what I've done when just experimenting with the Pinter. On setting 1, it bubbles away nicely. That's when it's brewing, and then when you want it to be carbonated and build up a bit more gas, maybe with 2 or 3 days left of your brewing time, you turn it to setting 2 and then leave it on 2 for conditioning, etc, etc, etc. But initially, just on setting 1 to let no oxygen in but the gas out, because as we all know, if we've brewed with Pinter 2, we've all seen it, it's all froth and nothing else. So we got this, it was 10 or 12 quid off Amazon. So we drilled a hole.
What do you call that?
It's just a pressure gauge. Just a pressure gauge. So we've drilled a hole, widened it out with the little auger grip, and then hopefully this will, and the white stuff around the thing is just plumber's PTFE tape.
Let me see
It
that
helps
again.
it's funny stuff, it's for doing radiators and stuff with. Helps the threads. So hopefully that will go in and hold enough pressure so that it does get up to enough. Now, I'll tighten it up with a spanner, I don't want to use the thing.
So you're doing that instead of the lid? Instead of putting the lid back in?
Yes, so what we've done is, to keep an eye on brewing, you don't need to have it in the whole time, I probably will, just to keep an eye on it, but just take the hopper cap out. One thing I would say is I'd maybe not recommend that you drill the plastic through whilst this is on, because then the plastic fell into my hopper. But the good news with that is, and I would again recommend, once you've got one of these, drill a hole in it and put it in and use it for rinsing out, because it opens up the hopper valve. So winter chicken dinner, so I was able to get rid of all the plastic that fell in there. And yeah.
So when you're drinking this one, you're going to have to filter out the plastic when you're
No
taking
plastic's
a sip?
gone, I've rinsed it out. I've rinsed it out. So that's the way to keep an eye, I mean, for the sake of 12 quid. Now, God love Ken Ashton. Ken Ashton's a subscriber to the channel. Ken has been hounding the greater good to see what pressures are actually in the Pinter at each setting. And they came back to him eventually and said it was a trade secret and they didn't want to tell anybody, which I think is porky pies. I don't think they have a clue. Personally, Ken and I believe what my channel says is that setting 2 is too high. But, so we're going to do this and then we'll shoot another video in a while when we get a brew on later. I'm probably going to do, what have we got? We'll put on a big dipper in a pint or two, gather it all up, set it to setting 1, brew it and see what pressure it gets to, and then I'll know. And I'll also have the ice bindle in it, so I'll be able to keep an eye on how it's progressing, and then I'll know when to swap it over to setting 2. But I think the cameraman needs a drink, does she? Yes.
Maybe later.
Well, I know the workers definitely does. So this is one we did again. We brewed this at setting 1. This is Tropical Debate. Now, I'm pretty sure at the time I might have put the hop oil in at the start. So when it came then to conditioning it, I didn't have a hop oil, so I panicked a bit. Don't know why. Could have just drank it without it. But I then also put in Winter Sun hop oil into this. So we're going to give, it's like a double hopped.
But now you're needing a Winter Sun for your Winter Sun when you don't have one.
Brian Young, if you're out there, you don't really hop anymore. Send me a hop oil for Winter Sun, please. Thanks, Brian. Or anybody else for that matter. So we'll try this and see if it's totally fine. So again, this was on setting 1, then moved to 2. It's perfectly carbonated. It's not foaming all over the place. It's pouring nicely.
Looking nice.
So yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Nice and pretty.
Should we try this? Or do you want to go? Do you want to try it first?
Not.
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry.
I pour myself on while you're doing that. What do you think?
Nice.
Is it nice?
Fruity.
I bet you it is. It's been hopped twice. Both with Tropical Debate and Winter Sun.
You've created a hybrid. Uh-oh.
Because I'm an enemy nose. Never mind. I can wipe the flop on that. Nice.
It's nice. Peaches, mango,